How am I supposed to talk about a book on this app when I can't even say its title, let alone talk about the contents that are in it? I'm trying to do part 4 of my 80-part series on the Little Black Penguin Collections box set. And I need to do part 4, but the last time I posted something about this book, my account got shadow banned, but we're going to try to do it anyway. This is On Making People Unalive, considered as one of the fine arts, by Thomas de Quincey. This book is a satirical tale of a gentleman's club whose sole purpose is to celebrate homicide and view it through an aesthetic lens. The structure of the book is in the form of a lecture given by the president of the club to its members following the true Ratcliffe Highway murders of 1811, which Thomas de Quincey was very intrigued by. Obviously, the premise of this book is absolutely wild, and the contents of it are pretty wild as well. But in reality, it's a large-scale satire of Kant's aesthetic theory, which has to do with the concept of beauty and art. Kant essentially conjectured that beauty and the sublime are not properties of objects, but arise from the interactions of the mind's faculties by becoming disinterested or separating beauty from desire or practical interest. This, in Kant's view, allows subjective judgments of beauty to claim universal agreement from everyone, if they engage with it in the same disinterested way. Kant's aesthetic theory is a very heady philosophical subject, but De Quincey pokes fun at it by having the Gentlemen's Club separate the moral judgment from murder and talk about the object or the action of murder as art alone. There's nothing to do with agreeableness or utility in the action. Rather, they compare it to things like thievery or ulcers. The club president states, "They are both imperfections, it is true, but to be imperfect being their essence, the very greatness of their imperfection becomes their perfection." Try saying that 3 times fast. He gets really wild though when they start to discuss the action of murder in those artistic terms, referring to murderers themselves as artists and describing the proper place, time, and subject for a fine murder. Now, just for a little background on De Quincey before you read it yourself, he was an English writer, essayist, and literary critic who's best known for his essay Confessions of an English Opium Eater. He lived in the years 1785 to 1859, and many of his finest works were those that brought the darkness into the public eye. Often he focused on the human, the fleshly, and the macabre. Now, this book might only be a satire of Kant's positions, but the desire that our society has today with making anything into art or the non-beautiful beautiful is unnervingly similar to this fictitious work. Not only that, but some of us openly celebrate evil acts.